Surprise, YouTubers, got another i3-9100 in. And a lot of people follow my channel only for the Dell Inspiron 3670 videos, so figured I would give you another one. It's been a while. Did install a SSD into it, and I think I lost the footage, so I may recreate that. But huge gains, folks. Well, I like weightlifting, so when we talk about huge gains in this sense, we're talking about huge gains in performance. So now we want to know, will this thing support 9th gen? And if you've noticed Dell's website, they've got the 3670. They've got a 9th gen version. Of course, if you bought the 8th gen version, curious whether a 9th gen chip will actually work with the 8th gen version. So we're going to try that out. It should be pretty simple installation. And we've got the i3-9100, so we don't need a graphics card, which will make things a lot easier, at least to tell if it actually works. And so we'll go from there. All right, folks, so we're trying out a couple different tools. One is this super awesome selfie stick / tripod to hold the camera. I was using the Tri-One quite a bit, but I found that when I would bump it, it would really kind of go crazy. So this one has a lot of different ways to adjust it, and we're going to try and get the best angles with this one. Alright, so that isn't a good angle though, is it, folks? Well, okay. So first step is to get this guy off. Now, previous videos, I've worked around it with a screwdriver, but to be honest with you, it's a lot easier if you put your hand down here and grab this clip, pull out, and there's at least 3 of those. Okay, then that comes out. So there's that part. I'm not even sure I need to put that back in, but I guess we will. So we have a Phillips. This should be a number 1, and number 2 probably would work. And there's a good chance that Dell will say to start unscrewing one, then go diagonally. Just never such a bad thing. You don't want to completely relieve tension on one half of these things, or on doing them one at a time. So it's good to slowly loosen them all. And then so you see the SSD is in there just kind of haphazard. We will put that properly away in a moment. Alright, so I took a little break to tighten down the SSD. And we continue to remove our screws. We're almost there. I'm just going to apply some pull ever so slightly to try and figure out which ones are completely undone. Looks like I got a ways to go though. So I got 1, 2, and there's number 3. Okay, so we want to disconnect the CPU fan connector. And I'm going to do that now. You can do it before you disassemble this, but in this case, we left it there. Alright, so I'm going to pull this tab back and lift up. And there's tools to do this a safe way. So the way I'm doing it, and you definitely don't want to touch this during winter time when the static electricity is high. So we will grab our i3 in a second. Alright, so in some aspects this is actually a downgrade. The i3-9100 has a faster single core score, which in some games and some other things this actually could prove to be better than the i5-8400. But for your quad core and multi-core scores, those are lefts with the i3-9100. At least multi-core definitely is. I'm not so sure about the quad core one, but so that is not going to be as awesome for any workstation type taskers, such as CAD and doing animation, things like that. So let's go ahead and put our chip in. What we want to look for is the little gold triangle there, and that's going to line up over here. Sometimes there's a mark on the you see it here on the aluminum frame that lets you know. And you want to be really careful putting this in, lining it up, because it's not something you want to slide around and drag around in there. So it would appear it is not in there very good. There we go. Okay. So ever so slightly I'm moving around to make sure it's engaged, and it is. Now this is your another place where you can be dangerous. You want to make sure that you pull this lever back and that this guy goes under the screw there, and then pull this down, or push it down, and then pull it over and around. So that chip is in there good. Now I recommend buying a better thermal paste than what I've got here, but this, for the most part, works for these CPUs that don't require that don't allow you to overclock and they don't get too hot. I'm going to squirt a little bit out on another thing, because it with these cheaper ones the compounds start to break down a little bit and you don't always get a good shot of this stuff. So that actually looks nice and thick. So from here we'll go ahead and put our CPU fan back in. Alright, so we've got our CPU fan and cooler, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in. I'm going to make sure that this is basically the side that the CPU fan connector for power is lined up, and I want to put it in there ever so gently. Line these holes up. They look lined up. So now we're just going to go around tightening them up. I'm going to go diagonally. And jump over to this guy. I'm just applying a little pressure with my thumb to keep it in place. So hopefully this guy will fire up. Huh? I'd hate to do this video, which I will post it regardless. Fires up, doesn't fire up. I would have did this with the i3-9100F, but never got around to it. And then I got rid of all my graphics cards that will work in here without changing out the power supply. Which you've probably seen on the channel. If you're a friend of the channel, you've probably seen that we have changed out power supplies a couple times. Actually, at least 3 times. We have also put all kinds of different graphics cards in here and try to see what we could get work, what didn't. And you got to be careful connecting these so you don't break the pins off. And it's in. So we're ready to move over to a monitor, which just so happens we have one next to us. So let me plug this in. Alright folks, moment of truth. So I think we have everything we need. We have the monitor hooked up HDMI. In case we need the keyboard and the mouse, we're which we should, you know, maybe I'll actually log in. And we've got RAM installed, power supply. I put the old one back in. It's not bolted down, but that shouldn't matter. And it's time to hit the button. So we've got power. So far, no picture though. There's the Dell logo. So it's going to at least boot to BIOS, and boom. So folks, if you have not updated to a NVMe M.2, you need to do it. So you just saw there how quickly this thing boots up. And this is a Samsung EVO 960, so it's not even the fastest one. Let me go ahead and log in. All right, so you can tell that our monitor is a little jacked up here. Interesting. I'm going to have to adjust the settings, folks. So this is actually a TV I've got here, but you know, what are you going to do? Yeah, everything's fuzzy. Okay, so all I want to do is show you that this is indeed an i3, and we're going to right click on this PC, properties, and there you go. i3-9100 CPU at 3.6 gigahertz, and voila. So this thing obviously needs to do some updates, but as far as I can tell, it looks good. It looks like a solid computer, and should be good to go. So in case you had any fear about upgrading your Dell Vostro to a 9th gen, it would appear it works. Now, of course, this is only using the i3-9100, and as far as I know, I haven't updated the BIOS at all on this thing. I didn't read anything that said the BIOS could be updated that would allow it to do 9th gen. What I went off of was the fact that Dell is using the 3670 with the 9th gen chip, which kind of tells me that, knowing those guys, they are going the cheap route. Instead of improving this desktop and making it a better desktop, they're just using the same junk that they have to keep the prices down. So that said, I do not have an i5-9400 to try out. I have a 9400F, but none of my graphics cards, I got rid of all my cheaper cards, so the other cards that I have do not fit in here. And so we won't be able to prove that. I may do it, though. I may do it. We'll see. Because I can always do a external ribbon extender and change out the power supply again. And then I'm probably going to get an i7 9700, not the 9700K, but the 9700. If I do that, I may just make another video out of this. What the hell? So thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe.